This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. I'm delighted to be here helping you with playing the guitar. In this video, I'm going to do a quick overview of the parts of the guitar. This can be really helpful to you as you're learning to play the guitar because sometimes these terms get used in method books, in instructional videos, by other guitarists, and it's just really helpful to understand what is being communicated. And that's especially the case when it comes to string numbers and fret numbers and that sort of thing. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. Now I am going to mention that this video accompanies the introductory materials of Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2, which is one combined volume, but it includes the original books 1 and 2. So it's one book, but it's books 1 and 2. And the Tablature Book and also note reading books 1 and 2, which is also one combined volume. So it's in the introductory materials. This is an accompaniment video to that. So if you have one of those books, you can look on pages 2 and 4 for some visual reference materials. Okay, so with the guitar, we've got the body of the guitar. We've got the neck of the guitar and we've got the head stock. So it's just like us, head, neck, body, head or headstock, neck, and then body. Now with the body of the guitar, on the top, it's known as the top. So that's this top part here. That's the top. It's also known as the soundboard. That piece of wood actually contributes the most to the type of tone that we get with the guitar, though all the different aspects of the guitar actually contribute to that. But the soundboard or the top contributes the most. Then you got the sides. And these are also sometimes referred to as the ribs. And then you got the back over on the back side. So that's the body. Also on the body of the guitar, you're going to have a sound hole. Now if you've got like a classical nylon string type guitar or an acoustic steel string, you'll probably have a sound hole right in the middle, or you might have it somewhere else on the top. This particular guitar is what we call an arch top, and it's got these F-hole sound holes, because they were modeled after the letter F, like an old letter F. On the soundboard, you're also going to have a bridge somewhere. It's going to be right just a little ways back. This is my bridge here. The bridge will also have a little saddle. Now, depending on the guitar you have, the bridge will look a little bit different. This is a floating bridge. If I took the strings off, it would come off. It wouldn't be attached to the guitar. But on nylon string and steel string acoustic guitars, sort of those flat top guitars, it's usually glued down. I've never seen one that isn't. So you're going to have a glued down bridge with a little saddle that might be a piece of bone or plastic or something attached there. Then with a lot of the electric guitars, if it doesn't have a floating bridge of some sort, kind of like this one, it might have one that is bolted in, and it's probably metal of some sort. You might also have a tailpiece like I have here, or you might not. The strings attached to this tailpiece, but with some guitars, the strings actually go down through the soundboard. Sometimes with electric guitars, they go all the way down through the entire body of the guitar. So we got that there. Some guitars also have like a fingerboard like this, or a pick guard. So as you're strumming, you don't scratch up your guitar. So you may have a pick guard, or you might not. Now, you might also have a pickup if your guitar is electric. Now, if it's an acoustic electric, that pickup or the microphones might be inside somehow. But with this particular guitar, I have a pickup right here. Of course, electric guitars that are only electric are going to have some pickups. With that is going to come some volume knobs, some tone knobs. Some guitars have one volume knob, some have more than one. Sometimes when they have more than one, that's because they're each controlling a different pickup. So you might have more than one pickup. You may have a selector switch that lets you choose between the pickups. Those are some of the other things you might have that might be attached to the top of the guitar. Okay, so with with the neck of the guitar, then we've got this piece of wood that sits on top of it. With your guitar, you might see the distinct difference between just the neck wood in general and then this thin piece here that sits on top of that that's glued to it, known as the fretboard or the fingerboard. This is where we finger the notes of the guitar to get the different sounds that we play. Now, it's called the fretboard because you got these little metal bars. And these little metal bars, we push the string down against them, it shortens the length of the string, and we get a different pitch. So it's also known as a fretboard, not a fret bar, but a fretboard. Now, with the fretboard, it's really important to know how the frets are numbered, because as we're learning to play the guitar, you'll get the different numberings. You might hear something's at the 4th fret, or the 3rd fret, or the 12th fret, and you need to know what number that is. So with the guitar, this is how they're numbered. Clear down down here at the bottom of the fretboard, you run into what's called the nut. This is another contact point of our strings. So our string comes up and over the saddle of the bridge, so up and over that bridge, and then it comes clear down without touching anything unless we push it against a fret, and it rings, it connects to the nut, and that's how we get an open string ringing. And then as we shorten the length of the fretboard, pushing the strings down against these frets, we get a pitch, and it's going to ring higher than the one below it. So the frets start down here numbered next to that nut, and we get fret number 1 all the way down next to the nut, then fret number 2, fret number 3, fret number 4, and so on. They just go up numerically. Here on the board I have that as an example. So you got the headstock, we got the nut, and then starting with frets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guitars generally have at least 15 frets. Some go up to 22, some go even more, some go a little less. Just depends on your guitar specifically. But the 12th fret usually comes right around where the body connects sort of to that neck, where we see that connection. It's usually around there. Some guitars, it's in a different place, but that's sort of a common sort of generalistic place for that to be. These dots that I've shown here, it's likely if you have a steel string guitar, a steel string acoustic, or an electric guitar, you may have just little inlaid dots that have been placed right there in the fretboard for you to see right on top of that neck as far as visually speaking for you. Now, they can start at fret 1, but they're going to be on the odd numbered frets. Frets 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then it skips 2 frets and we go to fret 12, where the strings that ring openly start over in a higher range. It's the exact same pitches. So it's where everything sort of starts over. We're going to have 2 dots. Usually, most guitars do, if they have them, have 2 dots there. Some brands like to change things up a little bit, and they might only have 1 or something like that. But you have 2 there, and then 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Some guitars won't have them down at the 1st fret or the 3rd fret. Sometimes you only have them at frets 5 and 7, but they're there to visually help you find the different frets along the guitar. So when you're learning to play the guitar, most of the time you're going to be spending your time with frets 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. And then the other thing that you'll hear is open, which means the strings played open, 0 frets. So 0 frets are open, and then fret 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's where you're going to start when you're first playing the guitar for the most part. With that, it's really important to know how the strings are numbered. So we have this top string, and we have a bottom string. Top and bottom sometimes gets confusing to students. They'll think top being the one highest off the ground, but it's actually the top of the sound. So the highest sounding string is the top string, and the lowest sounding string is the bottom string. So how they're numbered up here, we got that low sounding one. That's also string number 6, and we got the highest sounding one, the top string, is also string number 1. So we're going to number these strings, and we're going to number them from top to bottom. Highest sound to lowest sound. Another way to think of it is smallest string to largest string. So clear up on top, we have string number 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sometimes this gets confusing, and you may even hear guitarists use the wrong number. But it's especially important to understand frets and strings in this way, because if you're learning to play a chord or something, there may be an explanation that says put your index finger at fret 2 of the 3rd string, and you're going to have to be able to find that spot. You're going to have to be able to find string 3 and then fret 2, that sort of thing. So again, the frets are numbered starting at the nut. Anything that's just ringing open, which because it's connected to the nut, open, 0 frets, or open is how that's referred to. And then frets 1, 2, 3, 4 is where you're going to get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it just continues numerically. And then we start on the top of our sound with string 1, and as the strings get bigger, so do the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sometimes the strings are also referred to by their pitch name. If you need help with that, you can check out the video that goes with the introductory materials on tuning, because that's covered there. Of course, it's also covered in note reading and a little bit here and there in other lessons as well. So besides this, I didn't mention, but down here on the headstock, we've got these little posts where the strings attach, and then we got the tuning keys or the tuners, or the tuning pegs. You'll hear all these different terms from the different eras, mechanical tuners, but these are our tuners. When we tighten or loosen these, it will change the pitch of the string, and so that's really important in the tuning. All right, I hope that helps, gives you an overview of the different parts of the guitar. Keep having fun, and we'll see you in more videos. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out more great content. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.